The boys are home and we're so excited to have them. Our old guy here, he is thankfully not in as bad shape as he certainly could be. He's certainly very skinny along his top line here. And we do still see ribs even through the winter coat, and his hip is very sunken. But overall, not as bad as he could be. Still have a road to get him healthy again, but it won't be so bad to accomplish. And our young guy here, he is actually in great shape. It doesn't look like he lost any weight in the pen, which is fantastic. We do not usually see that in that pen at all. From the 6 that we have from there so far, they all came in underweight and sick. So it's really good to see that these guys are looking pretty good. And they're home. Thank you so much to everyone who made this possible for these guys. They did not have to ship to slaughter in Mexico, and it's all thanks to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So they're getting settled in this evening, and I am going to go get them some hay right now, and I'll check back in with you guys first thing in the morning. I'm going to come out and kind of see where they're at with people and see, make sure they're still not sick, spend a little time with them, and I will update you guys in the morning. Okay, I'm here with our new guys, and even though they were both shown as halter broke on the lot, that does not always mean that these Mustangs are actually comfortable with human interaction. In fact, most of the times it's the opposite. Mustangs are usually rushed through their gentling and training, and they develop a fear for humans due to all the scary things that we're constantly asking them to do. So I just wanted to show you guys what will happen with these guys if I just try and walk up to them and approach them like a person normally would. So let's do it. And very simply, both of them said, "No way, please get away from me." So we're not going to gain any trust like that. We're just making them feel afraid. So what I like to do is I bring a bucket of feed, and I like to shake it and see if they know what feed is. There's Scarlett and Mocha neighing at me over there. I don't know if you guys can hear it through this mic. There's a lot of wind. So I do think they know what it is, but they're going to be a little skeptical. That's okay. Our old guy here is thinking about approaching. Here he goes. Very good. So the more I can associate myself with positive things, the better, and the more comfortable these guys are going to feel. Which ultimately is the goal. We want them to be super, super comfortable with us. Yeah, you're okay. He's leaning away, so I'm going to back off. Oftentimes these horses that are halter broke have been handled by people as well. They have never been scratched on. They've never really been around people and been able to enjoy that interaction. So it's always, I like to just make them understand that they're never going to feel threatened by a human again, and in fact, humans are only going to bring positive things to them. So he's really liking this feed here. Our younger boy is looking and chewing now. He's really wanting to approach. He's just not sure yet. At the lot on their videos, you could really tell that they were trying to get away from the human. Now here he's letting me scratch him, and you see those eyes. He's really starting to like that. Which is really good. That's all I want from him, is to enjoy interaction with people. Especially with him being older, it's really important that we maintain his ability to be handled, just so if he does need vet care in the future, it's a lot easier to get that done if we can halter him and load him and take him into the vet versus having to get someone out here. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to have a name reveal here soon. This guy he has the sweetest eyes. He really does. He was titled way back in 2010, so I'm not sure. It seems like someone might have owned him for a really long time. Let's see if we can find his good spot. Oh, he's liking that. You can tell that they're really enjoying the scratches because their eyes will go from normal size to just, they get a little squinty, and you can tell they're like, ooh, that's so good. Let's see. What about that? Yeah, your chest is itchy. You can always try right behind their withers. That's where they will scratch each other, so a lot of times they really enjoy being scratched there. Good. This is a great first interaction with this guy. I was honestly expecting our younger boy to be the most brave, the most comfortable with humans, but it certainly seems as if that's not the case, so that's very, very interesting. This guy's got very thick, beautiful mane. You can hardly see his brand under here because he's been branded so long ago. He's very sweet, though. You notice how low his head is. That tells me he's just completely comfortable with me right now. And he's enjoying being scratched on like that, which is fantastic. Come on. You're okay. You see the stress indicator there? He turns his head away from me. I'd like him to just approach. He sees this guy is up here next to me and safe. I'm going to be quiet so he feels more comfortable. You're okay. He backs up. I'm going to shift my weight away just to indicate that I'm not trying to pressure him in any way. Contrary to what I illustrated to you guys when I just walked in here. I don't ever want to corner these guys or pressure them or make them feel uncomfortable in any way. Sweetness. You're okay. He's put himself on the other side of his hay bale. I suppose that makes him feel more comfortable. Notice I'm shifting my weight. When I move in, he looks away, so I shift back to indicate that I respect that. Might just take a full step here. See if we can get him a little more comfortable. I'm making sure that my hips are pointed away, not towards him. If I point my hips towards him, I'm going to inadvertently put pressure on him. Okay. He's a little uncomfortable there. He's walked off to release. We'll see if he comes back. He seems to not want to approach me alone. Oh. Okay, again, I've shifted my hips so that my body is convex and concave. Sorry. When we are like this, we are pushing. When we're like this, we are drawing. It's very important. Our hips, we can sort of communicate with our hips like horses communicate to each other with their shoulders. So, it's pretty neat. Come on, little guy, you can do it. Oh, big guy. He's pretty big for a 4-year-old. Let's see if I make myself smaller, how he feels. I just like to assess, and this is a really good lesson, you guys, for how really undomesticated a lot of these so-called trained Mustangs are. His listing said he was started under saddle, and he does have saddle marks on his withers, so it is likely that this horse has been ridden, but he is not even comfortable enough to approach me to take this delicious feed right now. So that shows you how far off people's training is from actually making these horses feel safe in the presence of a human. And this is what leads to a lot of horses ending up in terrible situations because they get labeled dangerous or untrainable, and then they end up moving from home to home because no one can break through with them or break them, when in reality they just don't feel safe in the beginning. So if we can help them feel safe, their training flies so much easier, as you can see throughout Sundancer's series from Wild to Willing Partner here on YouTube. He's been here for a long time, but he's had literally chunks of 3 to 6 months off. I've recorded every session and posted every video from the very beginning up until his first ride video, which will be posted next. I believe that will be coming up on Tuesday. So definitely stay tuned for that. It's a very big milestone. Even with all that time off, because I took the care to make sure that Sundancer felt really safe with me before we progressed with any training, he has just excelled, and everything he passes with flying colors. And even with that time off, he picks up right where we left off because he feels safe, he feels connected, and he truly enjoys the things we're doing together. So that's the difference here. This guy is said to be broke under saddle, but he won't even approach me for some delicious food. If I take this bucket out into that pasture over there, I will be swarmed by all of the Oregon mares, all of the babies, Sundancer, Dietz, Denny, I mean, pretty much every horse that has been here for a while. That is not an owner surrender. Our owner surrenders are generally the exception. They generally are kind of like this guy, and they have a little bit of an issue approaching people. So they tend to be a lot more standoffish and remain in the distance. But those that came here from a blank slate and were able to learn connection and safety from a human before being pressured to be haltered and led and trained, they have a totally different demeanor about people, and they have no fear whatsoever, which is just a beautiful thing, especially when they are coming from the wild, and every instinct they have tells them to be afraid of a human because we are predators. So I see this guy's creeping up here. I'm going to be quiet. He had his nose in the bucket, but can't work up to taking a bite. This happens a lot. They will put their nose in and they try to bring the bucket towards themselves, and a little bit of food will fall to the other side and make a little noise, and it scares them. It's quite funny. You want some more? Lots of whinnies out this morning. After this, I'm going to be putting hay bales out for everyone, so I brought the tractor down and they are anticipating that hay delivery. Okay, when you see this head start to turn side to side like that, he's contemplating that back. Let me mind my hips. Sometimes looking at them can make them very skeptical as well, so I try to look at them without staring dead on at them like a predator would. You guys can't see, but I've got our quarantine pins are all in a row here, each 100 to 200 feet apart. And I've got Mocha in the next pin staring at me with this. Way over there, I've got Roxy staring at me with this bucket. And then way down there, we have Yin and Yang also staring at me with this bucket because they all know what it means now. I've done sessions like this with all of them. And Mocha and Scarlet will eat out of the bucket. Roxy, I've got some videos of her coming soon. I want to make a series about gaining her trust and getting that halter off, so I'll be doing that here on YouTube. Because it's really common, you know, these horses are sold as broke or handleable or halterable, but just like this guy here, they really have a lot of issues and trauma around humans, so they really are quite scared. So that'll be a good series, education-wise, to share with people on how you can go back to the beginning and gain a horse like that's trust. Let me see if I can approach here. Seemed like good. Our young guy was more willing to come and try when he has his buddy here. They've been munching on all you can eat hay, so even our old guy might not be super hungry. He's gonna be so gorgeous when he fills out. He's still very poor. It might be better viewing today, but we see ribs. We're very, very lacking along the top line. and his hip is very, very, very skinny. We see bones protruding, spine is protruding all the way down. He's just going to look like a whole new horse once he's completely healthy. I really look forward to it. That's one of the most rewarding things about rescue, especially these kill pin guys, because you just don't ever know what they've been through. And for this guy, it's been since 2010, so hopefully he was with the same home for that whole amount of time. But there's no way to know. There's no way to know. I have tried to locate the person whose name he's titled under, and if I can get a hold of him, I can kind of see what happened to him after that home, how long he was with that home, etc. Well, we've got some big yawns from our young guy here. That's a big release. That's a really good sign. The more releases a horse will have in the presence of a human, the more they will feel safe around that human. It tells us that he was feeling a lot of stress, but he's beginning to go ahead and let it go without licking and chewing and yawning. Well, this will be all for today's video, you guys. I just wanted to do a little assessment with you guys. This is what I do when we get new guys in here. I like to see where they're at. I like to see how they actually feel about humans. Our older guy is pretty comfortable. It's very likely that he's still been pushed through things and has some trauma, but ultimately he's a lot more friendly than our young guy here. So stay tuned. In just a moment, we'll be doing the name reveal. You don't want to miss it. Okay, guys, I've sat the bucket down, and I'm sitting here breathing. And now he's comfortable being about a couple feet from me eating. That's good. I also like to test, make sure they like this feed, because this is what their antibiotics will be mixed into. So it's important to know that they will eat it before we try and give them their medicine later today. He's got some snot this morning. Yesterday it didn't appear like either one of them was sick, but we've got snot now. A little bit more coming out of our younger guy than the older one. So we'll be getting them antibiotics starting this afternoon with that. I just wanted to pop back on and share this update. So this is our starting point with this guy. It's just really important that they are comfortable as possible with humans before they go out. So the time that they spend in quarantine is a really good opportunity to make sure that they feel safe. Okay, our name reveal's up next. Here we go.